Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a new era of Extra Innings. It's been a few weeks here, and we're back, and we got a little bit of a change here. I'm Joe Sullivan, obviously, as you see, and I now have a new host, my man Dave Yarnall, aka Cowboy Dave. What's up, Dave? How you doing, bro?
Joe, how are you, man? I'm doing just fine. What's going on, brother?
You know what? I'll tell you what, man. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. At least excited to talk some baseball, especially considering my Philadelphia 76ers just got boat raced in Game 7. Okay?
Man, that was a tough game 7, Joe. Let me tell you, tough game 7.
Yeah. So team showed no heart. I had a guy that was the regular season MVP that basically I don't know what the hell happened to him, but hey, I digress, and we'll get into some baseball here.
Before we do that, I want to say I want to give my man, I know the big man you were talking about, the big fellow there. I'm going to give him a little pass, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think his knee was bothering him a lot of times, and he was afraid to go inside, make contact. And I think the injury just was getting worse as the series went on. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I think.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what though, but let's get into some teams that are playing with some heart here, okay? Because I'm looking at these MLB standings here, and I got to tell you, first off, looking at a division that shows a lot of heart. All right, like if I'm looking at these standings here, American League East is like out of control. I mean, every team in that division is a powerhouse, pretty much.
It's so funny you should say that, Joe, because every team in that division is over 500. Is that amazing to you?
You know what? I would say yes, but honestly, though, coming into this season, I was high on the Orioles. Well, Tampa's obviously. I mean, I knew Tampa was a decent team, but in fact, here's Sean Kilrain here. What's up, guys? How about the Orioles? Yeah, I mean, I knew, and about your point about the MVPs, Miko Spencer says MVP show up, aka Bryce Harper. He's no paper champ.
He's got a point there. Hey, I'm looking at this American League East, and I'm like, my God, and I know the Rays got off to a great start. They really did, and I mean they were hot. What 16-0, 17-0, whatever they were, or something like that. Something crazy with that record wise, but. I'm looking at the standings, and I mean the Red Sox are in last, but they're only 9 out, but they're 2 over 500. This is crazy.
I know it's nuts. And then of course you got the New York Yankees. I mean the Yankees are, the Yankees are 8 games out, but they're like 4 games over 500. Oh wow! Speaking of the Yankees, Eileen C here. She's a Yankees fan. She says Domingo Germán just got thrown out of the game for sticky stuff, which is a 10-game suspension. Wow.
I saw that on my phone. It picked up. I caught that. I was like, what happened? I didn't even know what was going on with that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So but I'm looking here. I got Tampa Bay now. I printed these. I printed these standings out actually yesterday, so I might be a game off here. But just
okay.
As of yesterday. You got Tampa Bay 31-11. You got the Orioles 26-14, 4 games out. Toronto 24-16. That Toronto team is stacked too.
Like, they're good. They're good. Yep.
Like I'm looking. I was looking at betting odds for American League MVP, and of course, you're speaking of Toronto. Of course, you have Ohtani's number one. Ohtani's number one betting odd. Like he's hitting like 293. He's got 8 homers, 24 RBIs. Then you have Trout second, but then but the third guy is Guerrero. Guerrero's hitting 312 with 7 bombs, 21 RBIs, and then honorable mention. I think there's like 5 or 6 is the guy, the third baseman. Shoot, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Hang on, I'll find him here.
Go ahead.
Shit, he was right on the tip of my tongue. Well, I'll look him up. Chapman.
Look him up. Okay, gotcha. Chapman. Okay, right.
I had a brain fart there for a minute. I'm like, what the hell am I talking about? But,
come on, Sully.
I know. But anyway, that Toronto team, they're 24-16. And isn't it amazing, though? It just goes to show you how good the Rays have been. I mean, You got a team that's 24-16. They're 6 games out. You know.
Well, you know what's funny about the Rays though? They don't have any special names on this team. Everybody's just like, you don't hear names that are like Judge or guys like that, and you see this team is like, wow, like where's this team coming from?
No, I hear you. Well, I'll tell you who's killing it. I mean, that guy, the first baseman, Diaz, has like a .593 slugging percentage, so he's killing it. You got and then he's got an on base slugging average. He's got a 1,022 on that. I don't really know. It's funny. I usually only look for like batting average, home runs, and RBIs.
Yeah, well,
the slugging percentage and stuff. I've never really looked at that crap in my life. I always look at like the other stuff. You know what I mean?
I'm the same way. I mean, I hear you. I'm the same, going the same direction you are. Absolutely.
Yeah,
but I just can't get over how. I mean, the Rays are 31-11. I mean, come on, wow, that's insane.
Yeah,
we got
Diaz from the Rays is scary. Yeah, they're really good, and I know that entire Rays team is good.
Very good. Yes, Eileen. Yes, they are.
Miko Spencer, what the hell is OBS? I don't know. I guess on base.
I think it's on base. Yeah, it's
on base. I think it's on base slugging or something.
Slugging, right? That's exactly what it is. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, like you said, yeah. So you got and then you got Boston at 22-19, 8.5 games out as of yesterday. So, you know what? All right. So let's just look real quick. Sean Kilrain mentioned the Orioles. Now, out of all these teams, who would you say would be a contender or a pretender? I mean, I think Tampa's shown enough that we could say they're contenders.
No doubt. I agree with that.
And
go ahead. Go ahead. You're good.
I was going to say, and I think even though the Yankees are 8 games out, I think they'll be contenders. I'm a huge Orioles guy. Like as far as like, I love their young talent. But I don't think their pitching's there. I think as the year goes on, I think they kind of get closer to 500 as the year goes on. So I'm going to say they're not quite contenders yet. I'm not going to say they're pretenders, but I don't think they're quite contenders.
I'm going to disagree with you on that, Joe. I think the Orioles are for real.
Okay.
I just do. I think they're for real because usually at this time of the season, where we're in May right now, usually the Orioles are like down the bottom of the list all the time. You turn around, they're in second place. They're playing that. I mean, these kids are playing. I mean, just watch them. They're fun to watch.
They are.
They're fun. They have a lot. They're just there, and I love it. I've never been to Camden Yards. That's one thing I would love to do. I would love to go to Camden Yards. I think it'd be fun. It's not like it's far down. It's like 2 hours away, But no, I've never been down there, and I think I would love to go to a game to watch it, even if the Phillies were down there or whatever. But I'm a believer in this Orioles team. I really am. But go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you what. I hope you're right because I have been to Camden Yards a few times, and my brother-in-law is a huge Orioles fan. So I'm, I find myself kind of being a quasi Orioles fan myself. You know what I mean? Like I'd like to see them do well. I mean, the only time we ever the only time I as a Phillies fan had an issue with the Orioles, I was only 5 years old. I don't remember it. It was the '83 World Series.
83 World Series. Yep. I was 9.
I was going to say I was still 3 years away. I didn't get into sports until '86, so I was 3 years away from even knowing what the hell was going on. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yep.
But
that 83 Phillies team was really good, but they just didn't have enough to beat the Orioles that year.
Oh yeah. Here's Miko Spencer here with a comment. Speaking of the Yankees. Were the Yankees stealing signs? If so, oh well, shame. On the Blue Jays for having the same signs over and over. Yeah. It's part of the game. And to your point about the Orioles, this time last year the Orioles started out not that good. Since they called up Adley Rutschman, they're way over 500.
Yep. Absolutely.
He I'll tell you what. I still consider Real Muto to be the BCIB, best catcher in baseball. But Rutschman's going to be there soon enough. I mean, he's hitting 286. He's got 6 homers, 22 RBIs, 58 OPS. But it's not just about that. He's just a natural. Like I feel like the kid's like a natural leader. You know what I mean?
He's coming around. That's for sure. Yeah. But Eileen's got a comment. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, let's see. I am tonight's WFAN radio's hit for cycle contest. If Yankees player hits for a cycle, I win a Jeep. No hope for that, but I still win a $50 Wendy's gift card, and my name was said on the radio. Wow, that's awesome.
Good for you. That's good job, Eileen. Very nice. Very nice. That's awesome. Good stuff. Now, going back to this American League East, Joe. I'm seeing. Like I said, I think the Orioles are frail. We know the Yankees are going to be there because that's just the Yankees. That's what they're always there. You know,
right.
You know that just as well as I do. I mean, come on, Judge is killing it. Did you see? Actually, going back to the Yankees, did you see that bunt home run or that check swing home run that Judge hit?
He's unbelievable. That guy is he's just so strong. I mean, just he can hit that ball. And you don't think it's going anywhere. Next thing you know, it flies out. And the other thing, Yankee Stadium. I mean, that short porch and right too. I mean, but I mean, he could hit it out anywhere. I mean, Judge can practically hit it out of the Grand Canyon. You know what I mean?
I think the pretenders in the East, in the AL East. I'm going to go with the Red Sox. I think they're the pretenders in that division.
Yeah, I agree. I think Toronto's legit. Boston's a contender. Yeah, here's Sean Kilrain here. Adley Rutschman and Anthony Santander, Cedric Mullins are all playing solid. So
yeah, they are. No doubt about it. Wow.
Eileen, see here, it's kind of funny how they think Judge cheated last night because he looked over at the dugout. That's I don't buy that.
I'm with you. I don't buy it either. I don't. No. Dude, he's Aaron Judge. How many 61 home runs last year? Are you kidding? Come on.
Oh, I know.
Guy's insane.
Yeah. So that's the East. I mean, the East is the best division in baseball right now.
No doubt.
If we go to the American League West, I mean, I'll tell you, that's a pretty tough division too. Now, I mean, take away the A's because the A's absolutely blow. They're 9-33. I mean, they're just
right.
They should just move. Sorry to any Oakland fans out there because I know you've supported the team.
What they have 9 wins all year so far?
Yeah, they're 9-33, at least as of yesterday. I mean, just move to Vegas already,
Right, I agree.
But you got the resurgent Texas Rangers at 25-15. All right. You got the Astros. Astros have some injuries. I mean, I think Altuve's still out. They're 20.
Is he still hurt? I wasn't sure if he was or not.
I think he was. If he did, I apologize. But I think. But anyway, regardless, he was hurt, and they're 4 games out. You got the Angels are right around 500, which. You think about it though. What a disgrace! I mean, you have the two best players in baseball on your 500 team.
Doesn't that blow your mind? That blows my mind.
I mean, it's absolutely insane. I mean, Ohtani literally could win MVP and Cy Young. I mean, how is that even possible?
I mean, well, guy does play 2 positions, so you got to give him that. Being a pitcher, it's crazy.
Yeah, so you got Angels. You got Seattle is right around 500. They're 20-20, 5 games out, and then of course the A's. I mean, they're not even worth talking about. They're like in the minor leagues.
I heard they're getting a new stadium. Is that right? Is that correct on that? Or
they may be moving to Vegas.
Okay, that's what I heard. Right, I did hear that. Yes.
All right, so let's look at this West now.
9-34. 9-34. Wow.
See, they're even worse. They must have lost last night because I missed.
I got them at 9. I have them right here in front of me. It's 9-34. So.
Okay. Well, you know what's funny? I mean, hey, I could have just assumed they lost last night.
But they're only 17 games out, Joe. Come on, they're still in it.
I know. Maybe they could pull the Major League and they could start taking. Remember Major League? They could start taking the body parts of the.
We win 2 in a row. That's a winning streak, Joe. Come on.
All right. So if we look at the West here, in my opinion, I actually think the Rangers are legit. I think the Rangers did a lot in the offseason. I like what they've done. So I'm going to say the Rangers are contenders, and of course the Astros are going to be contenders. I believe.
See, I was going to go with last year's champions. I was going to stick with the Astros. I think the Astros are still there. I mean, I'm not saying the Rangers aren't playing well. They're not. They're playing very well. I mean, they the first series against the Phillies this season. They took all three, and they swept them. I think it was. But not that was a long time ago. I get it. But here's the thing. I just think until the Astros are beaten, I mean, they're there. They're going to be there.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, Dave, as far as I think when the season ends, I think the Astros are in first place. I just think the Rangers will actually be in contention. Like I think
they'll definitely be there, no doubt.
Yeah. Like I think as the season goes on, I think the Astros wind up winning that division by like 4 or 5 games, and the Rangers could possibly be one of the wild card teams. You know,
totally agree. Well, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna go one step ahead of you. I think the wild card team actually. They were there last year, if you remember. Seattle Mariners. I'm going to stick with the Seattle. I think the Seattle Mariners could make a run.
Yeah, you know what? I could see that. I think even though they have two of the best players in baseball, I think the Angels are pretenders. I don't believe in that.
I said the same thing. I have them as pretenders too. But you know what, Joe? Baseball is such a weird sport. You never know. Anything can happen. I mean, Who knows? Trout could go on a crazy run, and Ohtani does his thing, and the Angels ended up doing their thing. So who knows? But right now, sure, I'm going to stick with the Astros. I think the Mariners are the wild card spot.
Yeah, Eileen C has a comment right here. She said, "I see if the Rodriguez kid can heat up for the Mariners, they will be tough."
That's good point. Good point, Eileen. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. All right, so that's the West. Now let's go to now in the Central. Central's a little bit of a surprise so far. You got the Twins at 23-18, and then you got Cleveland at 19-21. They're 3.5 games back. You know what's funny? The Tigers actually been playing better ball because they were really hideous a couple weeks ago. Now they're 19-21. They're only 4 games back. I think they still stink. You got the White Sox 14-28. They suck. They're 9.
Well, ever since they lost to Brayer, they kind of they started to fall.
Yeah, and then you got Kansas City at 12-30. They're 11.5 games back.
Joe, what is wrong with the Kansas City Royals? We've talked about this before. What is wrong with this team? What? Why can't they do anything right? I don't get it.
You know what it was? They drafted a few years when they were making the World Series and winning the World Series, and then all those guys got a little old, and then they didn't draft good.
I can see that. But I mean, I just when I say the Kansas City Royals, I go back into the '80s. I'm thinking like George Brett, Dan Quisenberry, guys like that. They made the Royals back then, and nowadays the Royals just. But the one thing about the Royals I will give, I love their uniforms. I'm a fan. I really am.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right. All right. So, what do we think about this division now? You got the. Do you believe in the Twins? I mean, coming into this year, I think a lot of people just assumed Cleveland was going to win that division. Do you believe in the Twins, or do you think it's a 2-horse race between them and the Indians? I mean,
I'm going to say I think what you just said is a two-horse race between them and Cleveland. Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be. Yeah, because I don't see Detroit doing anything. I mean, I'm going to go with I'm going to say the Twins win that division. I'm going to stick with that.
Okay.
I think that's yeah. I'll go with the Twins.
I could see that.
Did you ever see that movie, Little Big League?
I did. Yeah.
There you go. With the kid's the manager.
Yeah. That was one of those movies. You know what that was? That was one of those movies that's on cable a lot, and then I'm flipping channels, and then I find myself I start watching it. Kind of like the one. There was one where the kid was for the Cubs too. I think that was
Roland Gardner. Come on, now.
There you go. Yeah.
Henry Roland Gardner.
Yeah. So
great movie.
All right, so you know what? Let's get into the National League. But you know what though? Before we do, let me read off one of our sponsors here.
Okay.
Monkey Colt Coffee. Now I don't know about you, Dave. Now, Dave, I got to admit, I'm not necessarily a coffee drinker, but all the coffee drinkers that I know that have talked about this say that it's absolutely phenomenal. They produce They say right here they produce artisanal gourmet specialty flavored coffee, including bourbon, chocolate chip, and now toasted coconut rum. Their mascot Roderick has a line of cool logo wear you can also enjoy when you join the cult. You can use the promo code OOTB Sports at monkeycultcoffee.com at the checkout, while the owner, Matt, donates 10% of each sale to the National Pediatric Foundation. You can go at anationalpcf.org. So make sure you check, any coffee drinkers out there, make sure you check them out. Tell them the boys from Extra Innings and Out of the Box sent you.
Go get that monkey cold coffee.
Yeah, exactly. So Eileen C says Little Big League. Okay, yeah, and Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year. Okay, gotcha.
Definitely. Here we go, right here. Miko Spencer says, I'm gonna live on the limb and say Pirates, Royals, and A's win the division. I could finally get my Ferrari after this hits. Yeah.
I don't know about the Royals. Pirates, I got a chance there, buddy.
Oh, speaking of the National League, did you see the poor Rockies pitcher who got hit in the head with the line drive? Yeah, that was that was Castellanos. I got it. This is Castellanos. I'm rocking right here. Yeah, I don't think that pitcher would be rocking a Castellanos jersey anytime soon. He got messed up.
But in his defense, he did get up and he walked it off, which was great to see. I know he was probably seeing stars. He probably, that was a nasty line drive, no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's some scary stuff. So, but all right, so let's get in. All right, so let's get into the National League here.
Okay.
How about if we start off with the Phillies division, the East here.
The East.
All right, so I'll tell you. Atlanta Braves, extremely impressive. I know Miko Spencer's it's music to his ears.
Yeah, he's a big Brave fan, that guy.
And so's our own Dan, the host of the Big Blue, one of the hosts of the Big Blue Power Hour. And,
he's a Braves fan? I know he's a Braves fan.
What's that?
He's a Braves fan? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is, and that it's I mean, hey, I'm never the guy. I never question anybody's fandom, because to me, if you live in America, you can root for whoever you want. I truly do believe that.
I believe it.
I know a lot of people from Philly don't feel that way, but I do. Okay, but it does surprise me, because he is a Braves fan, but then he's a Rangers fan too. So I don't really.
Yeah. Where's the connection? Where's the connection there? I don't get it.
Well, neither do I. That's what I don't understand. Because in my way of thinking, I would think if you were a New York Rangers fan, you'd be like a Mets or Yankees fan. But
right,
whatever, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, root for you on. That's fine. I'm all for it.
Yeah, no. Hey, man, I'm not breaking balls. You know what I mean? But it just I just know myself, like being from Philly, like I'm 4 for 4. But by the same token, you guys all know I have different tickets for different teams and stuff like so. I'm kind of a Jets fan. You know what I mean? I'm kind of I'm kind of a Yankees fan to a point, because hey, if they make the World Series, I get something out of it. So what are you gonna do? Here's Mako Spencer, Braves, Cowboys, Sixers, and Irish. Blame my dad. Yeah, well, hey, I'm right with me. I'm right with Miko on the Notre Dame and the Sixers. So
you're a Notre Dame guy, right?
Oh God, yeah. My grandfather raised me Saturday Notre Dame and Sunday Eagles, bro.
Gotcha. I got you.
In my eyes, Rudy was not offsides in my eyes. No, Rudy wasn't offsides. He timed that snap down.
I don't know about that, Joe. I think his head was over the ball. I think it was.
You know what kind of gets me though? Like, and I love Rudy, right? It's like one of my favorite movies. I mean, like,
sure.
My grandfather went out to Notre Dame, and I've been out to Notre Dame about 4 times. Well, my grandfather went out with my Uncle Bob. And in the movie where the dad goes, "This is the most beautiful sight these eyes have ever seen," you know, what I mean?
Yeah.
And my grandfather, he of course had to say that, when he was out there. So, and of course, yeah, there we go. Miko Spencer, Rudy read that snap count. Yeah,
sure he did.
But, you know what kind of breaks my heart though is that I heard supposedly through the grapevine, a lot of those guys say Rudy was in real life was a real jerk off.
I really wouldn't know. That was
Well, I mean, I don't
No clue on that.
But I'm saying a lot of those guys, like, I don't know if it was Montana that said it or a few of those guys that were on that team,
right?
Said that like he was kind of like in the movie they made him seem like he was like the greatest dude,
the greatest thing. Well, yeah. It's funny. Do you know who? Back to that Rudy movie. His dad. Do you remember who played his dad back in the movies before that? His dad was Otis in Superman. If you remember that.
I do. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
I think his name's Ned Beatty, right?
Ned Beatty, correct. Yes, he played Otis in Superman. Yes.
Yeah, he was a great. I'll tell you, he was one of those great supporting actors.
Mm-hmm. You know? Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Joey Wood here says Montana said Rudy was all made up. Yeah. So, but
okay.
And Miko Spencer says yes. 50% of the movie was bullshit according to players that were there. You know. What was it's a fun fact about that movie though. Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau became friends from that movie. They both they both were in that. Vince Vaughn played Jamie O'Hara, the running back that didn't live up to the if you had half the heart that Rudy had, you could have been all pro,
Right. Yep.
And Favreau was his best friend.
Oh, gotcha. Nice.
So those guys. Those guys, and it's funny because fast forward a few years, and they wrote Swingers together, and
there you go.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But to borrow a line from Swingers, the Atlanta Braves are so money and they don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it as a Phillies fan, but 25 and 15 as of yesterday.
Actually 26 and 15.
Damn.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey,
yes, sir.
These dudes keep catching wins.
Yeah.
And I think they're missing. I believe they have a couple pitchers that are out too.
Well, their home record. They're only 10-9 at home. But they're 16-6 on the road. So.
Yeah, that's unreal. And I'll tell you. One of the definite MVP candidates. You look at Ronald Acuna. He's one of the top guys, and he's one. Dude's hitting 344. He's second in the league in hitting to actually another NL East player, Luis Arias. I never can say his name.
Arias, I think it is.
Yeah, Arias. Yeah, it's funny because the last time I did this show, he was hitting over 400, and now he's hitting 382, and he's still,
he dropped 20 points.
Yeah, yeah. It's like what a scrub.
Scrub that guy is.
Scrub. This dude blows. You know what I mean?
Nah, Braves are tough for the East. I don't see. I think they win the East. I really do. That's just my opinion.
I do too, to be honest with you, and I do think the Phillies, like right now, the Phillies are playing much better ball. Although last night, they lost the last two, but prior to that, they had won about 5 or 6.
What is it with this team, Joe, going to San Francisco? Why can't they win there? They have issues going out there all the time.
You know what? I think they get distracted by Gabe Kapler, the coconut oil, and those beautiful abs.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is. I think the Phillies are distracted by those abs, man. Like Gabe Kapler's all about GTL.
Right.
Gabe Kapler could be on the Jersey Shore. He's about GTL, and then Christ, think about it. The man doesn't even eat his ice cream. He's a psycho. Did you ever hear that? He literally licks ice cream and then he spits it out. Dude,
that's crazy.
Who does that, bro?
Gabe Kapler.
Yeah. And seriously, I think they might be distracted by the smell of the coconut oil. They're like, damn,
could be.
Even hit this damn ball.
It just seems to me like every time they go to San Francisco, they don't do well. They just don't.
They're distracted, man. I don't.
And what was the point last night of starting Connor Brogdon? I didn't understand that. I didn't get that at all.
I'll tell you. So I feel bad criticizing Rob Thompson because he did a great job last year. Okay,
he did,
and I do think the players play for him. I think he creates a relaxed atmosphere which allows these guys to succeed.
Right.
But I got to be honest with you. Even last year, I've never been in love with his in-game managing. I think he's one of those guys. It worked last year because I think the players bailed him out. But he's a tinkerer. he's one of those guys that's a tinkerer. You know what I mean?
Is it analytics, though, Joe? What do you think?
Well, I think it's analytics. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's just him. I mean, modern day baseball. I feel like you got a lot of. You have to basically they're looking at a book, they're looking at a computer. You know, general managers have a part in it where a GM can sit there and make comments and stuff like that. You know, so it's but I'm not in love with his in-game decisions. I'm just not.
I agree. I totally agree. I don't understand why he changed the lineup so much. I mean, you had Schwarber at the top of the list. Now you put him in the 5 spot, and actually it was kind of working. And he was, you know, it was there. I just understand last night though. What was the point of starting Connor Brogdon and bringing in Bailey Falter? Bailey Falter's 0-6. I mean, is it time to bring him down to the AAA? I mean, what do you think?
Well, you know it's funny. They actually did. They actually did today.
Did they? Oh, silly me! I didn't even know.
Well, no, I mean, it literally just happened, Dave. I mean, it's okay. It literally just happened. So I mean, I would honestly I would have missed it too, but I happened to be at my son's karate, so I was playing on my phone. So pop.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, so they did set him down.
You know, I mean, let's keep it real. It's not like Bailey Falter is like the top of the news feed. You know what I mean?
It's true. Good point.
Miko Spencer with a comment. He says, "Can't be worse than Mike McCarthy."
Oh, This is not a football show, sir. Go somewhere else.
Yeah. So all right. So you got the Phillies at 5 games back, playing some good ball. Phillies actually have a couple breakout stars this year too. Like, well, of course. My man Castellanos is starting to live up to his height.
He's a double machine, that guy. Man,
double machine. But like, you know, 2 guys in particular. You got Alec Boehm. Alec Boehm's hitting 278, which I mean 278's okay, but he's got 31 RBIs, 5 homers, 31 RBIs. He's playing extremely well. And then you got, I'll tell you, what's his face? Dombrowski made a great trade at the trade deadline last year. This kid Brandon Marsh can really play, man. I mean,
good center fielder. I'm not much of a. I mean, he didn't get much time because of Trout and the Angels. That's why he's, you know.
He was actually one of their top prospects, and the Phillies traded Logan O'Happy and a few other guys for him. But Marsh right now, he's hitting 287. 4 homers, 16 RBIs, but he's got a 406 on base percentage. And he tracks down the ball really well in center field too. I'll give him that much. I mean, you know, he doesn't miss many. That was one of the things that I was criticizing Rob Thompson for earlier in the year. Is they were playing Pashy, although it's funny because I ripped the crap out of that guy Pashy, and all of a sudden he started to come on, but it was driving me crazy that Marsh was off to such a great start, and then he kept sitting him for Pashy against lefties. I'm like,
well, didn't he get hurt though? Didn't Pashy get hurt?
Well, he did. That's
okay, right.
Yeah, he did. But that's what I'm saying though. Like, it's funny because I was ripping the crap out of that dude, right?
Right.
And
Gotcha.
Pashy started playing well. You know. Yeah, Pashy 10-day now. I think he might miss a little bit more than that, but yeah, we'll see. But all right, so let's look at these. I'll just fast forward here. You got the Phillies 20-20. You got the Marlins at 20-21 as of yesterday. They were half game behind the Phillies. The Mets 20-22, 6 games back. What? And then of course you got the hideous Nationals at 18-23. 7.5 games back. Although it's funny though, 18-23 is actually a little better than I was anticipating them being.
I agree with that. The Nationals are actually, yeah, I agree. Throwing 8. I mean, think about it. Throwing 8 games out. I mean, you know, that's crazy to think about. But what is up with the Mets, Joe? What is going on with this team?
I'll tell you. Is it possible that Max Scherzer could have gotten old overnight?
I don't want to say that. But I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I mean, with Scherzer, and they had what's his name? The guy they picked up from the Astros, right?
Verlander.
Justin Verlander, right? I mean, and Alonso. I don't even know what Alonso's doing these days. Is he hitting the ball? I didn't even look. But I mean,
he's not hitting it much tonight. They're down 7-1.
Wow.
Alonso. It's not Alonso though. Alonso is second in the league in homers with 13.
Okay, so it's just so it's not him at all. Okay, I mean, but I didn't expect the Mets to be on, to be like in 5th place or 4th place in the division. I didn't see that coming. Did you?
No, I mean I mean, if I were a Mets fan, I might be a little concerned. And by the way, any Mets fans out there, make sure you check out. There's a great show on in the morning, 10 a.m. Our man Ken Fry does a show called The Batcave. Very informative, and I'm sure I'd be intrigued to see because he watches them a lot more intently than me. I mean, I'll admit I'm a Phillies fan, and I like to just see the Mets just fold like the chairs on the Titanic. You know what I
mean? Well, in the Mets' defense, they did lose their closer this year, so that does hurt a little bit.
That was a huge loss. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Diaz, right? Was that Diaz? Is that who that was?
Diaz, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Nico Spencer here. Are the Marlins for real or no? I don't think they are.
You know, it's funny you should say that because now that they have our guy from second base who I really enjoyed, I miss him. I really do.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes, Segura, right?
Gene Segura. I miss him. I loved him. I was a big Segura guy. Seeing him leave hurt, but I hope he does well there. I wish him luck, and I think they might make a run. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to, but I don't know. They might be that sneaky team that you don't see coming. You know what I'm saying? Like they could be that team that just starts winning games and you don't see it coming. You know?
Well, hey, I mean, up until last year, they always were a thorn in the Phillies side. I mean, last year was the first time I remember the Phillies handling them in forever.
Yeah, it's true.
Eileen C says no at Marlins. They're losing to the Nats.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but that's true. But I mean, it is base. I mean, you figure bait. You know what's funny? This is one of the things I love about baseball, right? You realize every year in Major League Baseball, it's you practically start off 60-60, and then it's pretty much the 42 games in between that decide the good teams.
Good point.
It really is. And it's funny because I don't really hear a lot of people talk about it like that, but it's always been like that. You figure the best teams in the league are going to win, or the worst teams in the league are going to win 60 games. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So so basically, you're going to, no matter what, you got 60 wins, no matter what. Mm-hmm. Like even the A, although you know what though,
I was talking about the A's right now. They're sitting at 9.
I was going to say. The Oakland A's may be testing my theory here, but in general, 9 out of 10 times you're going to wind up with at least 60 wins.
I agree.
Shittiest team, you know?
Yeah, you know.
All right. Well,
like they say, Joe, that's baseball.
Yeah. Wasn't it Mel Leone? He said, that's baseball.
That's baseball. Yep.
I remember that as a Saturday mornings as a kid. All right, so let's go.
Actually, go back to Saturday morning show real quick before you go there. Do you remember that show called The Baseball Bunch?
I don't remember that.
You know who actually did that show?
No, who?
Johnny Bench.
Oh wow, okay.
Yep, with kid, and they had the who was it? The genie. Do you know who the genie was in that show?
No.
It was Tommy Lasorda.
Wow, how about that? Okay,
yeah,
no, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Go back to that show. It was called The Baseball Bunch, they would talk. They'd have Johnny Bench be talking to the kids and tell them, how to, all about the game and everything, and then the genie would pop up, and that would be Tommy Lasorda. Hey kids, what's going on? He'd be covered his his genie outfit and everything.
You know what? Yeah. I'll YouTube that one. Yeah. We got Miko Spencer has DraftKings has A's over under at 48. Well. They're making a liar out of me there.
They might get. I don't know about that.
Can you imagine being an A's fan? Like, imagine it being an A's fan. I'm like, yeah, everybody has 60 wins, and then you look over under is 48. You're like, damn, dude, we really.
Yeah, they're bad.
So, all right, contenders, pretenders in the East. I'm going to say, you know what? And I hope I'm not letting my bias get the best of me, but I'm actually going to say right now that because of the loss of Diaz and because I think something is up with Scherzer, I'm going to say the Mets actually aren't going to be. There's something about that Mets team. I'm going to say they're not contenders this year. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say the two contenders in the East. I think it pains me to say this. I think the Braves are the class of the division, but I think the Phillies make the wild card again.
See, I think I agree with that, but I told you that before. Yeah, I agree with. I'm with you on that. But watch the Diamondbacks. They're up. They're there too. I mean,
Well, I was gonna say we're gonna get to them in a second.
Right.
All right, so let's do the Central. You got the Brewers at 23-17. I was really high. I'm actually really high on the Brewers. I think the Brewers are that sleeper team that when they get into the playoffs, they can win the whole damn thing.
See, they get to the playoffs, so they mess up.
No, believe me. I hear you, bro. I hear you, but I'm saying they have some really good starters. They got a good lineup. They're in first. You got the Pirates 22-19. They're a game and a half out. They started off really good. They've kind of gone in the clunker the last 10 days or so. Then you got the Cubs 19-21, 4 games out. You got the Reds 18-22, at least as of yesterday. They were 5 games out. So the team that shocks the hell out of me is the St. Louis Cardinals at 16-25.
I got them at 17-25, but go ahead, I'm listening.
They must have won last night. Okay. Well,
they did.
Either way, the fact that you look at that Cardinals team.
Actually, they beat the Brewers last night 18-1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. That's one of the Brewers' 60 losses. That's all. You know what I mean? That's one of them games, that's baseball,
That's baseball.
All right, so who do you think in this Central Division, who's a contender, who's a pretender? And on a separate note, with all the talent the Cardinals have, because the Cardinals were like either first or second in best record in baseball.
Didn't the Phillies knock them out last year in the playoffs?
They did, but until then, in the second, I believe from the end of June until the end of the year, I think the Cardinals had like the second best record in baseball, or maybe even the best. I mean, the Cardinals played some great ball. So
they did.
Can the Cardinals get back into this race, or I'll ask you this: can the Cardinals get back into this race, or are the Pirates actually somewhat contenders? And the Brewer, and I think the Brewers are contenders, but what do you think about that?
I think the Brewers are. It's hard because the Central. It's so tough to like. It's so close. I mean, you look at it. The Cubs are only 4 games out. Yeah. I mean, and I'm not saying the Cubs are a good team or anything, but I mean they are. I mean they're 19-22, but they're 4 games out of the Central. I can't disagree with you, Joe. I'm going to go with the Brewers. I think the Brewers are the top of that division right now, but I think the Cardinals just might make it interesting in the end. I'll stick with that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Let's say,
I mean, Cincinnati doesn't impress me. The Cubs don't impress me, but the Cardinals, sometimes they could go on a run.
Yeah. Miko Spencer says he's in Johnstown, so he's in Pittsburgh country. He says the radio up here every day. I hear, well, the real Pirates are back. Nothing new. Yeah, I hear that too. My UPS guy is a big Pittsburgh guy, and that's what he was saying. He was about I want to say 10 days or 2 weeks ago when they played the last. In fact, actually, it was the last time I did this show. They were playing Tampa Bay, and I was like, wow, this is a measuring stick for them.
Sure.
And then they wound up, I think, either getting swept or losing 2 or 3. And then they wound up the following week, they lost a bunch of games. I think they lost like 7 to 8 or something.
Yeah, well, didn't they play Tampa, though, too? Wasn't it
Yeah.
They played the Rays. Yeah, I thought they did. Yeah.
So, all right, now let's go to the now we
go. But they do have our former guy. They do have our former guy.
Vince Velasquez has pitched well.
No, I'm talking about McCutchen.
Oh, well, McCutchen too. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Miko Spencer, they keep losing. Out of the box sports trip. We might be playing for the Pirates in late July. Yeah, yeah. So
okay.
All right, so let's get to the West here. Now the West. Now you got the Dodgers. The Dodgers have gone red hot. They're 26-15. Max. They're led by let me see here. Where am I at here? Max Muncy, third baseman's got 4 runs, leads the league in homers.
He's killing it, Joe. He's killing it.
He's absolutely killing it. And I'll tell you who's having a great year also. If I could find it here. Where the hell am I at?
Mookie Betts is killing it too.
Wins.
Well, Betts is killing it too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Dodgers are back. Dodgers are right back to it. I mean, like I said, Kershaw's got six wins already. So you got the Dodgers 26-15. Diamondbacks as a surprise Or 27-15. Okay.
Yeah, 27. Yeah, 27-15. Yes.
Diamondbacks are right behind them. They, as of yesterday, they were 23-18.
They're 24-8. They're 24-18. Only 3 games back.
24-18. Okay. They have a young kid by the name of Carroll, who's one of the top prospects. He's hitting 278 with 5 bombs and 12 RBIs. So he's one of the top prospects. He's really killing it. Disappointing surprise so far. San Diego Padres only 19-22. They're already
20. They're 20-22, but that's okay.
20,
good.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cool.
They're 7 out.
Yeah, they're an unfortunate surprise. You got the Giants are 18-23. And then they got Colorado at were they 17?
Not 18-24.
Yeah, Miko Spencer here, Padres with that lineup, so disappointing. Yeah, man.
But you know what, though? They're going to come out of it. I can't see that team not coming out of this funk. There's no way. I mean, Machado, that guy's amazing. You know, don't worry. I think San Diego steps it up in that division. I just do. Well, I'm not going to say they're going to win it. I'm not saying they're going to win it. But I think they might. Well, don't count them out. That's what I'm saying.
Well, Eileen C here. Looks like they got a scare. Machado got hit by a pitch tonight. X-rays were negative. So yeah. They can't afford. They can't. Especially with the way they're struggling, they can't afford any big injuries. I mean,
right? No.
Right. So.
And Tatis is actually coming back to life too. So we'll see.
They have too much talent on that team to not make a run. I mean,
I agree.
I think they're a classic example of it's early and don't panic.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
Right. All right. So I say the Dodgers are contenders. All right. Here's what I say. I say in that division, I say Dodgers and Padres are contenders. I think Arizona is going to come back to the pack.
I'm going to agree with you, the Dodgers and Padres, but I think Arizona's still there. I think they're going to be in that mix between those 3. I just do. I don't know. Right. Arizona to me. I mean, Arizona to me. I don't know much about them, but I know their pitching's not bad, and I think.
Yeah, well, they got a kid. They got a guy. It's funny you mentioned that because where am I at here? They have a pitcher. Yeah, they have a pitcher, Zach Gallen. He's already.
That's the guy. That's the guy. Yes.
Yeah. They have a pitcher that's doing extremely well. So yeah, I mean, hey, if you got a pitcher that's leading the league in wins, then at least that's one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
right. I mean, they are 24-18, Joe. You can't take I mean, they're still in this. I mean,
no, I hear you. I guess I'm kind of like from Missouri. You got to show me there with them.
Okay, Mr. Show Me State. I see you.
So, yeah. How about you know what? How about we do a real quick power rankings here? Just
sounds good.
All right, so I have my top 10. I got Tampa Bay 1, Dodgers 2, Atlanta 3, Texas 4, Baltimore 5, Blue Jays 6, Milwaukee 7, Houston 8, Yankees 9, and Minnesota Twins at 10.
Wow.
So I have 1, 2. Let me see. I have basically I have the whole AL East except for the Red Sox.
Yeah, I agree. But you got 2 teams in there, Texas and the Twins. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Honestly, I don't necessarily believe in the Twins, but I feel like I had to give them their respect because they are in first place. So what am I going to do? Put them in the top 10?
Who was your 11th team? If you had to pick an 11th team, who was it? I'll tell you mine too. But go ahead.
It probably would have been Arizona.
Okay.
Because Arizona. Oh wow! Look at this, Eileen C. I never thought I'd hear anyone say Orioles are better power rankings than the Yankees. Yeah. Well, I mean.
Well, right now they are. Right now, that could change.
But that's the thing. I mean, I think Ken Fry, Twins are hot. I like the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is that I think by the end of the year, especially when it becomes hitting season and Aaron Judge is hitting bombs all over Yankee Stadium, I think the Yankees are going to catapult a lot of those teams.
I agree.
Right now, I mean, hey, it's by the way, because I know I usually. Well, let's get your power rankings first. Go ahead.
Okay, my power rankings. Mine are: I have Tampa Bay, I have Baltimore, Atlanta, Dodgers, Texas, Blue Jays, Brew Crew, Yankees, Twins, Red Sox.
Wow. Okay, so you have the whole AL East in there.
Yes. Yep. I do.
Well, you know what's funny? Yours is probably more based on memory. Like for me, for instance, like Houston at their record, they probably don't quote unquote deserve to be in there, but I just put them in there just because I feel like talent wise they deserve
right.
it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Let's see. Miko Spencer says, I can't wait till later in the season. Braves will be one. Ken Fry, where are the Mets? Yeah. So
yeah. And actually, my 11th team that I didn't tell you who they were. This team behind me right here, the Philadelphia Phillies.
Okay, you know what? And it's funny you said that because I had them as 12. I had them like right. I mean, and I kind of see. I think by the time the year ends, I think the Phillies will be in the top 10.
I'm sure they will be.
So
I agree. I agree with that. I mean, come on, Wheeler and Nola have got to. I mean, it's only a matter of time before they. I mean, they're playing better. They're actually pitching better now. Actually, not that as bad. But
yeah, so
get Bailey Falter out of here. I can't take that guy anymore.
Yeah, he's definitely going there. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, well, how about if we do? You know what? I want to just go over some prospects real quick. But before we do, let me give a shout out to one of our other sponsors here.
Okay. Who's that? Okay.
All right. Here we go. All right. So now, any of you fans out there, all right, that are jumping off of bandwagons, okay, like for instance, if you're a Padres fan out there and you got some serious issues, you fall off that bandwagon, you get some splinters in your ass, maybe you break your leg. It says it right here, a slip and a fall. I mean, hey, my man, attorney Big Al, aka Jason Fine, aka Big Al, all right. Workers' comp, personal injury claims. Well, I'll tell you, Dave, if you fall off a bandwagon, that could be personal injury, couldn't it?
It could be. Absolutely.
All right. So you might have to give my man a call here. Now, thank God he's got 3 different locations. Now, unfortunately for you Padres fans out there, it doesn't look like he's quite made it out to California. But if you keep losing, maybe he'll expand. There'll be an expansion out there, okay? So he's got an office out in Philadelphia, PA, 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. You call 267-888-2980. Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 3 Greensward Lane, Cherry Hill, 08002. Or Pittsburgh, PA, 800 Grant Street, Suite 2900, Pittsburgh, PA. You call Jason directly, 267-962-4895, or you could call Miko Spencer at 267-303. Damn, that's I'm sorry, I couldn't really say it. 7324 for a free consultation. So, hey, some of these fans out there could use, need some help. And hey, when Out of the Box makes that trip to Pittsburgh, I mean, hey, we're all peaceful people here, but you never know, man. Sports fans get into it. You know what I mean?
And people fall into the bullpens too, Joe. You gotta be careful.
So, all right. So we did power rankings, and you know what's funny? I was going to do prospects. I don't know. Should we do? Do you want to do a couple prospects real quick, or do you want?
If you want, sure. Why not?
All right. So we'll just do some top prospects here. So coming into the year. I already touched on this guy, Corbin Carroll, for the Diamondbacks. He's hitting 278, 5 bombs, 12 RBIs. He's probably one of the most impactful prospects, right?
Right. Gotcha.
The Red Sox have a prospect that's killing it. The guy Yoshida.
Okay. Yes.
He's really playing well. He's hitting 298. He's got 6 homers. He's got 24 RBIs. That's I could be wrong, but I believe that's leading the rookies in RBIs.
Mm-hmm.
You got Eileen C as a Yankees fan. She probably would know this because a few weeks back, this guy was really struggling. But Anthony Volpe was hitting like 180 or one, or I think he was hitting like 115 or 150 or something. Well, he's upped his average to 217, but now he has 6 homers and 17 RBIs. So the kid seems to be progressing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you one more. We'll just do one more. I got one more here. coming into the year, you know how the Orioles are playing some really good ball.
I do.
Well, one guy that's not really, as good as their lineup is, one guy that was actually supposed to be the top prospect in all baseball coming into the year, Gunnar Henderson.
Gunnar, yes, I remember that name. I do. Yes.
He's not exactly. They're winning in spite of him. He's hitting 180. He's only got 4 homers, 8 RBIs. So,
wow.
For as good as the Orioles are playing, imagine what they'll do if he starts getting it going.
This is true. Good point. Good point.
Yeah, here we go. Joey P. Wood says Yankees got some good prospects. The center fielder is going to be legit, Dominguez.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about baseball. I mean, you have these guys that are playing right now, but that's one thing I love. Like the Phillies, I haven't looked at it in a while, but I used to go on the site for the Phillies. It was called Future Phillies, PHUTURE Phillies, and it would show you the prospects. Now, unfortunately for the Phillies, a lot of times they don't have a lot of good prospects.
Right, well, our farm system's not the greatest, that's for sure.
Right, but I think it's one of the cool things in baseball to check out, like who's coming in the pipeline. And I got one more. Cody Senga started off great for the Mets. I still think he has a ton of potential. I think he has a ton of potential.
Okay.
But right now he's 4-2. He's got a 4.14 ERA. He does have 43 strikeouts in 37 innings. So there's
not bad.
Not bad. And I got one more. Cardinals have a kid named Jordan Walker. Like I said, they're struggling, but he's not doing too bad. He's hitting 274. He's
a triple A guy. I got you.
He's only got 2 homers, 11 RBIs, but he's not doing too bad. They say he's got a lot of potential. So maybe as he goes on, maybe he can lead that St. Louis Cardinals turnaround.
Well, this kid from the Orioles, Jackson Holiday.
Okay,
check him out. Yes, kid's only 19 years old. Yeah, I mean, young kid. Yeah, he's 6 foot 185. Yeah, not bad. I mean, the kid's got some got some pop in his back. So can't hurt.
Yeah, definitely. And how's this for a name here? Sean Kilrain said the Dodgers just brought up two outfielders, Klay Thompson's brother's job in jeopardy. Well, I'll tell you, it's been a tough week for Klay Thompson.
Yeah, that's for sure.
First, the Warriors. A lot of people are saying that Warriors dynasty might be on its last legs. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to say that just yet.
No, I'm not either. No, I'm not. No.
But they're going to have to do some tweaking.
I mean, yeah, but what's it called? Their point guard. Why am I losing his name?
Steph Curry?
Yeah, thank you. My brain was going. Yeah, Curry did all he could in that series. It was rough. It was rough for him. Yeah, but the Lakers were Lakers. It is what it is.
Yeah, Lakers are down 12 right now, but it's only second quarter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's we'll see. I mean, I think this will be a tough series, though. But
Denver's good. Yeah.
But they're some of the top prospects. I was going to get in the league leaders, but you know what? That we could do that next time.
Save that another time. Yeah.
And how about just to give a shout out though? I mean, Shohei Ohtani. I mean, is this guy unbelievable or what? I mean, I'm looking at 5-1 with a 3.23. He's got 71 Ks in 53 innings.
It's insane. This guy,
And then batting 293, 8 bombs, 24 RBIs. I mean, the dude's incredible, man.
I agree.
But you know what? Hey, before we get out of here, speaking of incredible players, I know you had an interesting what do you call it? Why am I drawing a blank?
I don't
know. Subject. Okay, that's subject.
I did. I was doing my homework last night for this show, and I hope people are enjoying the show because I hope that's what we're doing here to make you entertained. I came up with the top 10 catchers of all time.
Okay.
We could do 5. I was thinking if you want to do 5 today, and we can say 5 for next week. We can do that too.
That's fine. Sure, why not?
You think that's fair?
Okay. So what do you want to do? So do you want to do from 10 to 5, or you want to do from 1 to 5?
Look,
and then
I was thinking from 1 to 5, then we can go 5 to
Okay, that works.
You want to go first? You want me to go first? How do you want to do it?
You can go first.
All right, my number one catcher. I have to go with this guy, Johnny Bench.
Okay.
Yes. My number two catcher, Yogi Berra.
Okay.
Number three, Roy Campanella.
Okay.
Number four, Carlton Fisk.
Okay.
And number five, Pudge Rodriguez.
Okay. Hey,
Yes.
I can't exactly argue with any of them. I mean,
Okay.
obviously, they're some of the greatest ones of all time. So my five's not that much different. I got Yogi Berra number one. I mean, the guy just, I mean, he's, he played in 62 World Series games. I mean, is that unreal? Now, obviously they didn't have the playoffs back then. So it's, I mean, not to take away from his shine, but once you made the playoffs, you were in the World Series back then. So it was a little
right.
Different. Johnny Bench, number two, the captain of the Big Red Machine, as far as the behind the plate.
Of course.
I got Pudge Rodriguez, number three. I mean, I believe, isn't he like, didn't he set the standard for stealing bases? And
yes, he did. Yep.
Capture, right. I mean, I think JT Realmuto might have I think he's the only other guy I can remember like stealing 20 bags as a catcher. I got Mike Piazza as number four, him because he's got 427 home runs.
I have him on my list, but he wasn't in my top five. He was number six, actually.
Now Joey P. Wood with an interesting one, Yadier Molina. Now I'll tell you, he's honorable mention. I mean, as far as you look at his longevity and possibly as far as handling pitchers and controlling a game, if you went strict defense and leadership wise, he's definitely top 10.
Once a Cardinal, always a Cardinal.
Yeah, he's like Mr. Cardinal.
He is Mr. Cardinal. Yep.
Number five, I'm gonna say Roy Campanella.
Good pick
for a number of reasons. Obviously, I mean, he was not just as a player, but I mean, he was extremely instrumental.
Yep.
I mean, as far as the history of this game.
I agree.
Eileen C with a comment here. Do you guys remember how much of a bust Jesus Montero was?
Wow, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Well, hey, I'll tell you one. And Eileen must know this one well. Has anybody fell off the planet quicker than Gary Sanchez did?
Wow.
I mean, speaking of catchers, and I'm a guy. I mean, I invested in I've had a Yankees partial plan since 2017. Oh yeah, here she is. Here, Yankees had him, then traded him to the Mariners. But yeah, I've had a partial Yankees plan since 17 because I invested in Judge, obviously Judge, right?
Of course.
And then Gary Sanchez and I mean, 2017 drove me crazy because they had to win 1 or 2 against Houston, and I had some really good money coming to me from Game 3 of the World Series because they were going to play the Dodgers. I was like, come on! It was like having money on the game without having money on the game. You know what I mean? Like
I've been there.
Like $2K coming to me for the game, and I was like, come on! And then they lost. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, Gary Sanchez. I mean, that 2016 season, like before 2017. I mean, I remember they called him up and he was hitting home. In fact, if you remember coming into 2017, I believe Yankees fans were thinking Sanchez was going to be the guy.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Sanchez was that guy. They thought he was that guy anyway.
Yeah, they thought he was like a power. He was supposed to be like a power hitting Thurman Munson.
There you go.
And speaking of that, there's a guy that possibly could be on one of our lists next week or honorable mention because you talk about a guy that was going too quick. If Thurman Munson was the famous captain of those Yankees teams back then, and it's a shame what happened to him.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah,
he was lazy.
Was solid for a bit. Yeah, he was like, yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, he just totally lost it, man.
Actually, who was that catcher for the Detroit Tigers? He was actually a Philly too. Lance Parrish.
Lance Parrish.
Yes.
You know what? So I was only a little kid. I started watching baseball '86. I was 8 years old, and I remember going into the '87 season. I remember my grandfather because if you remember in '86, the Phillies had a winning record. I think they won like 80 some games, but they finished 20 behind the Mets because the Mets were so good in 86.
That 86 Mets team. But go ahead.
And the 86 Mets team was like the Wolf of Wall Street. They had like
unbelievable.
I mean, on their airplane, they were snorting coke. They had midgets fighting each other. I mean, they had all kinds of shit going on. You know what I mean?
They did.
But anyway.
Hey, they had Dr. K, sir.
Dr. K, Strawberry. Yeah, I mean, Levy Dykstra.
Gary Carter.
Yeah. And don't forget Keith Hernandez, him of the Seinfeld fame.
Mookie Wilson. Hello. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. So, but anyway, the Phillies signed Lance Parrish, and coming to that year, Schmitty was coming off an MVP, and they were supposed to be in contention. He came here and he sucked, man. I mean, he was. Lance wasn't too good. No, sure.
If
you go down the list of all-time Philadelphia Phillies free agent bust, Lance Parrish is. I almost said Lance Armstrong, but Lance Parrish is if not top of the list, he's up there. He's up there with Danny Tartable, who had like one at bat.
Do you remember Bo Diaz?
Vaguely. He was
okay.
He was. I think his last year here was like 84, 85, and I didn't start watching 86. So I was a big
Ozzie Virgil fan too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Eileen C. Judge saves the Yankees again. Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Does that surprise you?
No, and then Joey P. Wood. Remember Kyle Drabeck talked about never was. He was supposed to be can't miss. Yeah, well, you know what though? He served his purpose because he was in the Roy Halladay trade.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah. So,
what was his dad? Doug? Was that his dad? Doug Drabeck?
Doug Drabeck with his dad. Yeah. Doug Drabeck was good. That's a sore subject for a lot of Yankees fans because the Yankees traded Doug Drabeck in one of.
Did he go to the Pirates?
He did. I don't remember if they traded him to the Pirates, but I know they traded him. That was back when old man Steinbrenner was making bad moves to try to get veterans to try to stay because the 80s was a bad time for the Yankees. I know that.
Yes, very bad time.
In fact, it's a shame because one of the reasons, like, you know, I've always been a Phillies fan, but when I was a kid, I loved Donnie baseball. I loved watching Mattingly play.
You were a Mattingly guy? You were a Mattingly guy?
In particular, 1987, I was 9 years old. And I think Mattingly hit like homers in like 12 or 13 straight games. It was like an unbelievable run he was on. And you know what? Nobody would ever believe me when I say this, because if anybody says you're a Yankees fan, they would be like, "Oh, you hopped on the bandwagon." Well, let me tell you something. When I liked the Yankees, they sucked balls. In fact, this was back in the late 80s when they had a pitcher by the name of Andy Hawkins who threw a no-hitter and lost the damn game. You know,
I remember Andy Hawkins.
Yeah, I mean they were terrible, and so anyway, if I ever told anybody, like, of course I'm diehard Phillies fan, but I've never hated the Yankees. I've always kind of liked the Yankees, and people would go, "Oh, you're a bandwagon jumper." I'd be like, "Let me tell you, when I started watching them, they sucked." You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, if you go back in the '80s with the Pirates too, I mean, you had all those guys, Willie Parker. It was like Kent Okoye was their closer at the time. You know, I was a fan. Like that Pittsburgh team was always good to me. Like they were just fun to watch. You know, always gave the Phillies fits. You know.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, Miko Spencer with me. Great show, guys. Hey, thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate everybody watching, and yeah, you know what? It has been really fun, Dave. I really
Joe, I'm having a blast. I love it.
I'm really looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to doing these catchers. These I'll have to do. I might even break down some numbers here, but I'm looking forward to these catchers next week, and let's see what happens let's see what happens this next week in baseball. You know,
hey, that's baseball.
Yeah, that's right. So, all right. Well, let's get ready to wrap up here. I got to get my little guy off the bed. So let's.
Yeah, I'm same way.
All right. But anyway, hey, everybody out there, thanks for checking us out. You know, if you're in fantasy baseball, hey man, I hope your players are killing it. And to some of you, I hope your teams are doing well. Obviously, hey, I got to keep it real. If you're a Braves fan, Mets fan, or Marlins fan, sorry, I got to root against you. But other than that. Good luck.
It is what it is.
All right. Have a good one.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.